there is something very important about prayer and faith and you receiving the answers to your prayers, beloved, that you need to know. Because if you do not know this, your relationship with God suffers and you experience great disappointment that breaks your faith in God. So you must know and understand this one thing, beloved, that faith is not a destination. Faith is a journey. It is not a destination, it's a journey, and it's an entire process. So there are things that are intrinsic to the process of faith that you clearly need to understand, you clearly need to grasp, and you need to know how to articulate, execute, or implement so that you would receive your coveted answers from God. Because in Matthew 21 and verse 22, Jesus says, and all things whatsoever ye shall ask in prayer, he says, believing, if you believe it, he says, you shall receive it. So if you do not believe it, you will not receive it. So what then does Satan do to us in the equation of this promise of God? He does things to cause us not to believe that the very thing that we have asked God for, that is according to his will, according to his promises, that we will not receive it. So what does Satan do? Because when you ask God for something, beloved, it is done. So you ask God for it, it is according to his will, it is according to his promises, it is not going to destroy you or destroy your life. He grants it to you, beloved, and he grants it to you as one that exists outside of time, and you exist in time. And because we exist in time and are limited to time, he already answers your prayer, and the answer to the prayer exists in a moment of time that you have not yet come to. And you have to come from where you are this present moment to that present moment where the answer is, to receive the answer from God. So in order to stop you from receiving what God has already granted to you, Satan affects your belief system, and it causes an event, a situation, a circumstance, a crisis to arise in your life to destabilize your faith so that you would no longer believe that God is answering your prayers. And so he causes you now to take a detour from that straight and narrow path of prayer and faith to the answer where the answer is. And it causes you to take a detour of unbelief outside of that path so that you would not receive the very thing that God has promised you, so then that you would now become discouraged and that you would call God a liar. But what are you supposed to do in these situations, beloved? That when you have prayed and you have asked God for something, and then all hell breaks loose in your life, and the all hell breaks loose is calculated by Satan to cause you to focus on the all hell that is breaking loose, so that you will not focus upon God and the guaranteed answer to your prayer that he has already given you. So instead of focusing on keeping focus in your faith on God, you're focusing on the apparent circumstances of life that have been calculated to make you believe that God has not heard you, or that he has forgotten you, or that he is just playing a game with you. And you focus upon the situation, you do not focus upon God, and you end up walking a different path of belief. That instead of believing that the answer is already there and you are coming towards it, you are believing that God is not going to answer you because the circumstance that is directly before your faith has deceived you into thinking this. So what are you supposed to do, beloved? When it comes to faith, Hebrews chapter 10 and verse 23 says, let us hold fast the profession of our faith without wavering, for he is faithful that has promised. So you are to hold fast the profession of your faith without wavering, because God is faithful who has promised. So if all hell is breaking loose in your life today, hold fast the profession of your faith without wavering. If a crisis has arisen in your life today that makes you believe that God has not heard you, hold fast the profession of your faith without wavering. If there are circumstances that have come upon you suddenly that makes you think that there is no hope for you, hold fast the profession of your faith without wavering, because the answer only comes when you believe. The answers from God don't come when you doubt. So you have to maintain your belief. You have to hold fast the profession of your faith without wavering, so you can come to the place where the answers of God for your life are. So do not be deceived by the present circumstances that are around you. Do not be deceived by the things that are happening in your life. Do not be deceived by the crisis that has just suddenly arisen and popped upon the horizon of your personal reality. Do not be deceived by what is happening. It is trying to block your view from the throne of God and block you from receiving the answers to your prayer, because God is the author and the finisher of your faith. He begins your faith and he ends your faith, and he takes you through the entire process and journey of faith so that you can come to your desired destination. You must hold fast the profession of your faith without wavering. Do not give up. Do not quit, and do not settle for less than God has promised, beloved, because your answer is already given and you are coming to that moment in time. Blessings.